everybody. How you doing tonight? So glad that you joined us. It is Monday night. No, dude, it's not. It's Tuesday. MLK Day got me. Sorry, when you have kids and jobs and stuff like that, sometimes when you have a 3-day weekend, it can get you right in the brain, which clearly this did. My apologies. I'm already giving you fake news, and it's only 2 seconds into the live tonight. So it's Tuesday night, and we're going to talk about some things that happened today, some things that happened, over the weekend. Of course, everything is all screwed up, bro. Everything is all screwed up, and it feels like we don't have adult leadership that's actually taking the initiative to like fix the things that are broken sometimes. But I feel like we did get a big win. I've been saying for a long time now that we need to reopen the asylums. The asylums absolutely need to be reopened. So I think that we're about to listen to what Donald Trump has to say on that. I just don't know that we're going to be able to make big enough asylums to be able to hold enough people for what we've got going on in our society. I think that we need to non-consensually put people in these asylums. I think that, in my opinion, it'd be easier to make camps, if you know what I'm saying. So that way we could get more people in them. So I want to congratulate Joshua Tesdale on coming out. Josh said, "I'm gay. We support your lifestyle. We have no problem with people being gay over here. As long as you're not obnoxious and retarded about it, I hope you get all the dudes, bro. I hope you are swimming in dill, if that's what you're into. It's really not a problem. None of us have any problem with that. It's really just the, making it everybody else's problem shit that we don't like, bro. Honestly, I hope you find the biggest, longest schlong you can possibly find. And I hope that it's attached to a good guy. I hope he's over 6 foot, man. I hope he makes over 100K a year. And I hope he treats you like the princess you deserve, brother. Because we all want to be treated like a princess every once in a while. Don't you think? Jax, every once in a while, when we're laying in bed, she'll like pet my back and I feel like a pretty princess. She'll be running her fingers through my fucking beautiful back hair. And I'll like, damn, bro, I feel like a queen. So I hope you find that. I hope you find that because you deserve it, bro. Don't ever settle for anything less either. Legally Brunette, aka Stephanie, said, "The white fatigue has hit. Glad you catch alive." Y'all, what is up? Big love and respect to you, fam. Appreciate you. I am in a state of constant fatigue. I don't even see color with fatigue. I have retard fatigue, bro. And that has nothing to do, just so you guys know, anytime that I use the R slur, it has nothing to do with any non-consensual mental disability. It has to do with the ones that people choose. People choose them. People are like, yes, I'm going to make this my personality. This makes no sense. There's no common sense here. This doesn't align with reality or logic. I'm going to clutch it between my butt cheeks and make it my personality. I'm going to grow a little retard tree out of my ass, and this will be who I am forever. So I just figured I'd explain that, in case anybody was confused. We are bringing the R word back. It really never went anywhere, but some people think it did. So let's hear what President Trump has to say about this, because you know that Trump be yapping. I chose the 15-second clip. I feel like sometimes when we watch Trump clips, we're like, God damn, Gramps, get to the point. This is real concise. This is like 15 seconds. So let's hear him.
The reason for bail, long tested. Signed an executive order to bring back mental institutions and insane asylums. We're going to have to bring them back. Hate to build those suckers, but you got to get the people off the streets. The reason for bail.
Yeah, I don't hate to build the suckers, bro. I think that it's absolutely necessary. When you see people out on the streets and they're suffering from homelessness, they're suffering from mental conditions, they're suffering from drug addiction, it's not empathy to leave them out there and just let them continue to suffer. Letting them just be out there, floating out in the public, living under bridges, eating out of trash cans, shooting dope with toilet water into their veins. That's not being empathetic and compassionate. I know that there's people in our country that thinks that that's absolutely what we need to do. That, like, leave the homeless population alone. No, first off, they deserve better. Secondly, they're dangerous. A lot of these people. There's some that are just down on their luck financially, and we've made the cost of living so high that they're just out there. And others are ugly, fucking demonic retards. And those people definitely need to be locked up. So if you are insane living on our streets like Gary, like a free range retard, we don't want you on the streets, bud. If you're dangerous, you know what I'm saying? I don't know about y'all, but I don't want my wife going downtown anymore. I don't like it when she has to go downtown. And we don't even live in a big city. We just live in a blue city where there's a shitload of homelessness. Oregon legalized all drugs recreationally and then never built the treatment centers, because I'm sure that once we start really digging into the fraud and following the money, pulling a Nick Shirley out here in Oregon, we're going to find that Tina Kotex and her band of absolute LGBTQ thugs probably did fraud in the billions range off the money that they allocated to helping the homeless and putting towards helping people with drugs. The services never showed up. Abandoned Gino said, "Love you, JD. You provide honest news and make it entertaining. Thank you so much, homie. Glad you're here. Big love." Declan Glover, what is up? What a sick name, too, bro. Petition to get JD his gun rights back. I didn't know we were best friends. I love you, man. I appreciate that. Stephanie said, "We have Eastern State here, and they empty it, and they have nowhere to go, and they're dangerous." That's what I'm saying. It's dangerous. And a lot of these places, a lot of these people are really fucking dangerous. So for the betterment of the people that are suffering on the streets with their mental illness and their drug addiction, and for the betterment of our communities as a whole, just leaving them out there flailed out, wiggling the paint off the walls, waffled and fucked up in the mind, it doesn't help anything. Bring the asylums back. Tarek said, whoa. Did I hear something about trees and ashes? Is this a new kink? I don't kink shame, but what kind of tree? Oak, maple, giant, redwood? Oof. How about mahogany? Because personally, when I think of a tree that sounds sensual, the word mahogany just slips off the tongue. Something nice, don't it? It wasn't a kink thing. It was just a metaphor for how people will take things that make absolutely no sense, like suicidal empathy, or law enforcement has no right to enforce the law in this country. And then they'll make it their whole personality, and they'll quit their job and become a full-time protester, and then wonder why when they ran over a fucking federal officer, they got slimed. I mean, I can't imagine why that happened to you, ma'am. I can't imagine why your brains are on the airbag right now when you used a vehicle in a way that could have killed a federal officer. Thelma said, "Hey JD, your little Irish granny here, finally catching alive. Much love and prayers to you and Jackson kids, and to your parents too. Thelma, we love you. Thank you for being here. Huge love to you. Us Irish are all a family. If you trace all of our roots back far enough, we all come from the same clans. Big love to you." That sounded like I was saying we're all inbred. That's not what I meant. That's not what I just, studying Irish genealogy, it was a very tight-knit group back in the day. And this isn't a Somalian thing. 8'3", what's up, big dog? Hell yeah. JD, keep making it happen for the others, brother, man. You are appreciated. Hey, man, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here with us tonight, brother. Huge love. So I want to also, while we're here, I want to get into some of this because there's a lot going on. Now, you guys remember we had the whole church scenario. The church scenario was absolutely bad. And I'm seeing this dude now all over my every stuff. I want you to hear, this dude is like a real life fucking problem. Is this the same dude? No, this is a different dude. I want to listen to this dude real quick, and then we'll get back into that.
After this Minnesota thing, I'm really questioning when the left's gonna start playing Papa Cop. Tag DHS. I am Antifa.
So they were classified as domestic terrorists. And it sucks because this dude's a 10th Mountain Division Infantry combat veteran. And I feel like he's probably going through some mental health struggles. If he's out here encouraging people to shoot at cops, he's probably going through something and he probably needs help. He probably needs services. And, you know, a little grippy sock vacation might not be the worst thing for him before he hurts himself or somebody else. I hate to say that. I never want to see that shit happen to a veteran. I never do. But, you know, when you're out here making these types of statements, you're getting real close to where you're going to prison. And I'd rather take the grippy sock vacay and have, you know, padded walls and shit than have cell bars. I'm just saying, I've been to prison and I've worked in the mental institution while I was in prison here in Oregon. It's called Oregon State Hospital. It's in Salem, Oregon. You might have seen it in that movie, One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That was filmed there. I worked in the kitchen there. So I know that they got fed a lot better, at least there, than we were getting fed in the prison. I know that for sure. And, you know, who's not a fan of grippy socks, bro? Grippy socks are dope. Grippy socks are lit. They're extra thick. They have the little grippy thing on the bottom so you don't fall down. And speaking of falling down, this lady got some instant karma.
Learn how to drive, you jerk!
Damn, tailbone.
You just cut me off like that? Huh?
Yep.
Hey.
I'll teach you some.
Whoa! Oh!
Down! Holy! Watch out! Car's moving! Learn
I want to see that again. Yes. Hold on.
drive, you jerk!
Ah!
Learn how to
One more
drive,
time.
you
I'm sorry.
jerk! Think you
Whoa,
just cut me
yeah.
off like that?
Holy shit.
Hey.
I'll teach you some.
Whoa! Oh!
Down! Holy! Watch out! Car's moving!
Oh man, that shit makes me so happy. See, if she had her grippy socks, she might not have a busted up tailbone right now. Also, she could have just not been violently fucking retarded. That would have been cool. That would have been cool, but you know, it is what it is. This liberal man, let's let him yap, bro. Let's let this dude cook. You know, when somebody says liberal man, you're gonna get something cool, bro. This dude's really trying to impress some blue-haired septuagintarian on the internet because he probably hasn't felt the innards of a woman since he slid out of his mom. So let's see what he's got going on. I'm sure this isn't going to be retarded.
Give me liberty or give me death. No, I won't comply. No, I won't obey. No, I will not respect the fascist Gestapo filth at our ICE border patrol. And when all this is said and done, I will actually take great joy in hearing the cries of their family members as we see them swinging from a rope. All of these guys are murderous, fascist Gestapo filth. They are moral failures. The people that support them are also moral failures. And none of these murderous, fascist Gestapo filth have any rights that we are bound to respect.
That's fucking insane, my guy. First off, you really look at yourself in that fit and you're like, this is the one, man. I'm going to get on camera. Then you start talking about Gestapo filth. These are our law enforcement, homie. We've had ICE for decades. You weren't mad when it was Biden or Obama or Bush doing it. You're just mad now that Trump's doing it, which is crazy because his numbers suck. Like, Trump's numbers with ICE suck. But I want to point out, he brought families into it. He brought families into it. He's talking about executing ICE members' families. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, this dude doesn't get an asylum. This dude belongs in fucking prison. What he's saying right there was not just a threat to federal agents. It was a threat to their family members. which is buck wild crazy shit to be doing. But on top of that, like, when do we start making it you're a Nazi if you enforce our laws? We're a society, we're a country, we have laws. When has that been a fascist Nazi dictatorship to enforce laws that we've had for decades? All of a sudden, because it's Trump and you don't like the Cheeto man, you're going to threaten people's families? It's insane. Mike Zero Source, my guy, thank you so much for that big support. I'm not violent, but I would welcome help to deal with my addiction to alcohol. Alcohol was escape from dealing with my experience in Afghanistan. I've had dark thoughts of ending it. I'm not going to commit self-harm, but those thoughts are dark. Hey man, like listen, first off, I've been there. I lived there for a long time, and I had constant ideation. Little voice in the back of my head telling me nothing was ever going to get better, telling me that everybody around me would be better off if I wasn't here. And I just want you to know, I am so fucking glad that I stuck through it. I'm so glad that I went and I got help. And man, if there's got to be resources in your area for you to be able to get with some people who've been through the same things, please reach out for help if you're struggling with that, man. We love you and we need you. And thank you for your service, bro. I love you, dog. Declan Glover said, love you, brother. Happy to finally catch a stream. It's Declan. It's Declan Glover. It's not Declan Glover? I thought it was Declan Glover. Okay, sorry, bro. Hey, I'm glad you made it to a stream. Streams are my favorite thing because I get to know you guys a little bit better. You get to know me a little bit better. It's a lot cooler than like shorts and shit like that. 45, mistaken identity. Anonymous official just dropped a new video, kind of weird things with BlackRock. Also, great thing the Asylums are back. Bro, I'm going to have to find that video now. I am very, I'm not cool with BlackRock, dog. I'm not cool with BlackRock at all. Thank you for giving me something that I need to investigate. I appreciate you. Educated Hillbilly, what is up? Thank you, sis. Just had a discussion with Boomer Mom. Folks have lost their minds. I can't believe we're seeing a major turning point in American culture. I'm extremely disappointed in Trump, but my background is law. I understand Trump's approach to a certain degree. Yeah, and here's my thing. The reason that I'm disappointed in Trump is that, like, he came in, he said there was going to be accountability. He said there was going to be transparency. I think the people that voted for him, they were very much thinking that they were voting for somebody who was going to finally come in and lay down the law. And that's not what we've seen. That's not what we've seen at all. And, you know, I want to see Pam Bondi out of there. I think that she has failed us categorically across the board. I think that she's more concerned about sound bites on the news and making, you know, tweets where she sounds tough and then she never backs it up. And I hate that, bro. I hate that. Yo, DB in Boise, what's up? How you doing, brother? In a prison fade, how many seconds into a fight with someone else do you know if you were the stronger one? You know, here's the thing, is like, I've been in fights where it's gone, you know, fights don't last as long as they last in fucking movies and everything. You clearly know that. You know, a long fight's gonna last a few minutes. But I've had fights, honestly, strength doesn't even matter as much as in a prison fight as who's gonna wind out first. If you wind out first, you're honestly at the mercy of the other person. I've seen small dudes that weren't very strong take big dudes just going the rounds, bro. Wait until they're gassed out and then fucking them up, bro. You know, and I think that, like, really who's stronger isn't necessarily as important as, you know, who's fitter and also who has more training. And if neither person has training, who has more experience or who keeps their head level? You know what I'm saying? That's why I laugh at the dudes who say shit like, I just black out and then all of a sudden everybody's on the ground. Sure they don't, bro. Sure they don't. That's never once happened to you, bro. Like, you know, people who can stay calm and composed and decisive and planning their next move, watching what's happening with the other person, reading body language, and being able to, either fucking miss the swing or deflect it and then get in there and find the opening. Those are the people who generally end up winning in fights. At least in prison. I can't say I have MMA experience. I did a little boxing. That's about it. Lone Star. This stuff gives me a headache. Just give me a couple of real bad dudes with attitude and we'll fix these clowns. That's what I'm talking about, Bubba. Canucks fan, what is up? How are you? As someone with high functioning autism and has grown up with many people with a variety of mental illness all my life, reopening the asylums is absolutely needed, so long as the purpose is to help those that can be rehabilitated. Help those that can be rehabilitated, homie. And also, in my opinion, there's some people that just aren't going to be fit to be able to go out back into society unless they have continuing care. But they need to be stabilized before they can go back into the community with that continuing care. And whatever that looks like, it's definitely going to need to be catered specifically to the individual because everybody's different. But as far as I see it, the main thing that I see is it really has to happen is there has to be transparency and there has to be accountability because we've had atrocities happen historically in asylums in this country where things were not done humanely. And that's the only thing that I see is like, it really needs to be, there needs to be video cameras everywhere. We can't have staff sexually abusing people. We can't have experiments being run on people. You know what I'm saying? That's what I worry about with asylums. But we have things now like video surveillance, and we have things now like, checks and balances that we can put into place. I used to be a ride or die Trump supporter. Glad I'm not anymore. MAGA has been going crazy lately. And, there's so many people that feel that way. Bro, there's so many people that feel that way. I've never been a ride or die supporter of anybody because I know that people are fallible. And honestly, I don't remember a time in this country when we had a leader that inspired me that I was like, yeah, dude, yeah, I'm behind this shit. Like, you have to earn my support and allegiance and vote. I don't just hand over my support and allegiance to somebody because they're on this side of the political aisle or that side. You really have to convince me, first off, that you mean what you fucking say because politicians are known to be liars. And we all know that. But also, what you say has to make sense and it has to be what's best for the American people. Not for foreign interests, not for corporate interests, not for billionaires, and not for their pockets. So, I don't give a lot of trust to people on either side, and that's just how I've felt about this for as long as I can remember. Now, I want you guys to experience this individual with me. Also, it's really interesting. It's really fun to look at the people in the background as well. I'm not entirely sure what is actually transpiring here, but I figured I'd throw this in since we were talking about asylums. This seemed like a really good video for the asylum video. This is an interesting situation we have here. And this is in Hollywood, but I'm just going to play it and then you guys let me know what you think. I don't think that's a woman. I don't think that's a woman. I don't know what the fuck that was. What was happening there? What was happening there? Yeah, that's what I thought too. That's what I thought, Yoko Ono. They fucking clapped for that. They clapped for that. Y'all think that's a woman? You think that's a broad? That is definitely not abroad. No. That is a very, very unfortunate looking man underneath that multicolored wig. That's unfortunate. There's a lot of unfortunate going on there, which is why I chose it for reopening the asylums. That's why I chose it. Earlier today I had a great interview, a live interview with Sheriff Chad Bianco, who's running for California governor. He is currently, and has been for a while now, the sheriff of Riverside County. He is an absolutely good man. He is amazing with what his policies are, and I truly believe that he's actually passionate. After speaking to him, he's someone that I have no problem saying, if I lived in California, I would vote for this man. I would support this man. He has a really good plan, including he wants the asylums. And he wants to get people the help that they need. And he wants to stop leaving people on the streets. And he's aligned with what we're talking about tonight. He's a Republican. And I think that at this point, we really actually need a serious change in the situation that's going down in California. Because California is going down the toilet. And I think we all know it. Now, I also want to hear this, because I think this is important. A little bit off track from what we were discussing about the asylums, but it's not that far off track, because these people are supporting this.
People, vicious, many of them murderers. These are all out of Minnesota, just Minnesota. I say, why don't you talk about that more? Because people don't know. Do you want to live with these people? International murder. These are people that are living, they're apprehended and either put in jails in their country from where they came, or the countries respect us, and so they actually put them there. In the old days, they didn't respect our country. Biden wouldn't do this because he let them all in. If you didn't have open border policies of Biden, none of this, all of the time that we spend talking about Minnesota and everything else, most of them are coming from out of the country. And it's been caused by a previous administration. Look at this, one after one. Boy, these are rough characters.
That said, a 12-year-old girl. That dude sexually assaulted a 12-year-old girl. This is who these people are out there protesting for. When Renee Good died, they were trying to arrest a convicted child sex offender to deport him back to his country of origin that he's still a citizen of, because he damn well isn't a citizen here. And she died for that. Imagine dying trying to protect a pedophile.
These are all criminal, illegal aliens that, in many cases, they're murderers, they're drug lords.
13-year-old girl. 13-year-old girl.
Drug dealers. They're the mentally insane. There's some of them who are brutal killers. They're mentally insane. They're killers, but they're insane.
That was a child
These are just
one.
in Minnesota, California. It's worse. In other states, it's worse. No, Minnesota, the crime is incredible. The financial crimes are incredible. And the problem is because of the agitators and insurrectionists, whatever you want, trouble.
So I think that if you are at a point in your life where you want to throw your life away, trying to protect pedophiles, we saw 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds in those charges, and those were convictions. Those people were convicted of those crimes. ICE is going after those people. Now, are those the only people they're arresting? I feel like it would be disingenuous to say that they are. But every single person that they're arresting and actually more than just detaining or holding for a little bit are here illegally. And they need to go. Because that's what we do when we have laws. We follow the law. And when people don't follow the law, we pay people to handle that for us. It's like when we have trash and we don't want it to sit in our house anymore, we have people that we pay to come pick that up. We're paying for the service in this country to take people out of here that are here illegally. But these people want to kick and scream, drive their cars into them, block roads over it. It's fucking insane behavior. And I think that if you have these asylums and you need to know where to start to fill them, these fucking protests are a great place to start. A great place to start. I think that you'll 1000% be able to fill a lot of asylums by just going out to these protests. Educated hillbilly, I am the definition of never assume anything. I will stand for my beliefs and the rights for others to do so as well. They crossed the line storming that church. They 1000% did, and we are going to be discussing that. They 1000% crossed the line storming that fucking church. That boils my blood. Not just as a Christian, but as an American, as somebody who believes in the Constitution. And listen, you guys might have seen the videos I put out. The young black gentleman who had the 22 long rifle, at a protest. The live role-playing fucking adult Cartman with the weapon strapped so tight to his chest he wouldn't even be able to use it. Thanks for pointing that out, Texas T. I stood up for them because they have the constitutional right to do what they're doing. Minnesota's an open carry state, and they weren't breaking any laws. Do I agree with them? Probably not. I probably wouldn't agree with them on much, but they have the same constitutional rights I do, and I'll stand up for their constitutional rights. So when I see a bunch of retarded degenerates storming a church, terrorizing children, that boils my blood as an American and a Christian. Canucks fan, save the experiments for the diaper sniffers. That's facts. That's facts. Save it for the child rapists. What are they going to do? Say no? Six's mom, what is up, sis? JD, explain something to me. I have no social media and live on a piece of sand in the middle of the sea. I am jealous right now, sis. You're flexing on me. You're flexing on me. When did this real evil hate happen? It's so out of control. Aloha from Kauai. This is why we had asylums before. You're absolutely correct, sis. I love you. Big love to you and to Six. Listen, I think that this evil really happened and a lot of this mental illness really gestated during the 2020 Summer of Love shit and then lockdowns. I think that a lot of this happened. So where are we seeing this the most? We're seeing this the most in these really blue states where people were locked down for the longest and they had the harshest lockdowns. You don't see this in Florida. Florida locked down for 2 weeks. And then DeSantis, God bless him for that, was like, yo, we're not fucking doing this. We're not going to tank Florida's economy and ruin people's lives and their financial well-being on this. And you don't see this there. But you do see this a lot in the blue states. I think that it broke something in people. And a lot of these people got all the vaccines and all the boosters. We could conspiracy theorize on whether that has something to do with it. But I know that, when I was in solitary confinement in prison, I know that had severe effects on my mental health. So it would make sense to me that to some of these people, being on lockdown might have had adverse effects on their already faltering mental health. That's my theory on it, Texas T, great to see you, sis. The asylum's personnel should be required by law to have body cams on at all times. Preach! Preach! You always come in with fire, girl. You come in with fire every time. That's how you make it safe for the staff and the nuts. It will also backfire on the same people who police the cameras. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. We are 100% in agreement on that, sis. I appreciate you so much. Mike Zero Source. What we got was dealing with corrupt officers. My team was hated because we were not for sale. I was offered $200K to look the other way. I refused. But what got me were the people I looked up to that took the bribe. Doesn't it suck to watch people that you respect and that you admire and that, you know, you thought would do better just absolutely bend over backwards for fucking paper, bro? For paper. Like, look, I know money is important. I haven't lost touch with that. I still live paycheck to paycheck. But like, bro, to like give up your integrity and your human decency or your morals for it is just so weird to me, bro. It's so weird to me. Relic. The problem with politics today, both right and left, is that many people who know nothing about politics talk about it and can give false facts that can hurt others. Well, you know, I mean, there are a lot of people who are absolutely ignorant because they don't know. There are people who are willfully ignorant. There are people who surround themselves in, you know, a safe little bubble, and it ends up being, you know, like an echo chamber. And then there's people that actually seek the truth. And the truth can be really hard to find when you're surrounded by people that live in these echo chambers. But, you know, I'm really happy I live in a country that allows even the most demented, retarded, probably demon-possessed, mentally ill, on SSRIs, probably boofing meth 8 times a day people still have the same right to freedom of speech that I do. Because I think that everybody deserves to be able to speak their minds, even if they're on that bullshit. But I absolutely get what you're saying. DB in Boise, quick drama break. Are you a fan of Black Butte Porter? You know, DB, I used to be, man. I used to be. I liked Black Butte Porter a lot back in the day. That's Deschutes, right? I can't remember if it's Deschutes or Rogue. I haven't drank in 6 years, over 6 years. Not a drop of alcohol. I'm completely 100% sober and have been for 6 years. So I'm not a fan of anything anymore. I love the taste of a good beer, but I don't have breaks. God gave me a beard and some freckles and 0 breaks. So I don't start, because once I put one in, bro, I end up waking up in the back of a cop car months later going, how the fuck I get here again? Truth Junkie. Back in the day, early 90s, when I was in the service, we had a deck of cards with faces just like those on and went through every single one. Hell, these days, I'll do it for free, given the chance. Hey, thank you for your service, bro. Big love to you. Canucks fan, here's an idea. Instead of wood chipper, we sent the diaper sniffers to a facility and we use them instead of animals for experiments and other tests. Why waste such a good resource? I absolutely agree with you. I agree with you. I've thought that would be a great idea for a long time. I really want to protect animals, and I love the idea of using pedophiles as long as at the end we put them out of our misery, because they don't need to be in our misery anymore. That's my thing. Dudes Jones, what's up, buddy? Much love, brother. Hell of an interview today. Proud of you and this community. Wood chipper for all peds. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you. And I tried to keep it, for the sheriff today, I tried to keep it without saying anything too completely radical, because I know that he's going to have people on the left. You know, I know he's going up against some Democrats and a very liberal lady who would love to get some sound bites making him look like he associates with radicals and all of this stuff. So I tried to keep it pretty chill. I didn't bring up the wood chipper to him. But that's because I actually believe in him and I respect him. And I don't want anybody to get a soundbite of him talking with me. And I'm like, should we put the pedophiles in the wood chipper, brother? And him having to go, well, I don't like pedophiles. It just would have been awkward. But I can tell you that's not a dude who fucks with people that fuck kids, bro. That's a man of integrity. Kevin Poprocks, this is my educated guess. The Dems are going to sacrifice Tim Walz so Gavin Newsom and California fraud runs scot-free. What do you think, wood chipper 2028? Well, I think that the fraud in California is so much more monumentally huge than the fraud in that happened in Minnesota. I don't think we should let them get off. I know that they would probably like to do that. I think that they are, so it's obvious that it's obvious that the government in Minnesota, the local government there, is doing everything they can to fuel these protests and make them more violent, make them more radical, make them make more headlines. If you look at what happened in the church, when you trace back the people that actually did that, all of them are either employees of the government or spouses of employees of the government. And then you have Don Lemon's bitch ass. So I think that this was 100% fueled and decisively chosen to do to make headlines, to take away from the fraud story there. So I'm glad that they've been subpoenaed on the fraud, and I'm glad that they've been subpoenaed on trying to start an insurrection in Minnesota, because they need to be brought to account for all of it. Jay Freak, what's up? Many liberal teachers belong in those asylums. Facts. Their malleable students are following the paid protesters as useful idiots and will remain latent, waiting for certain older generations to pass on. And that's why we really need to, as people with common sense, as people with logic, as people with a moral base, we need to be raising our children correctly. We need to raise our children to stand up. We need to raise our children to live a good life and to follow what they know is true and what they believe. So you're not wrong at all, Jay Freak. Last message for the night tonight, brother. Have a good night. I got to be up early as fuck. Love you, bro. Wood Chipper 2028. Hey, man, get some good rest. Huge love and respect to you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Mike Zero Source said, are you happy or not drinking? How did you go without drinking? It's pretty hard to stay sober. I want to drink so badly, but I'm afraid of taking a drink. Listen, man, I am so much happier than I ever could have imagined not using anything. I thought that if I stopped using, that I was going to be missing out and losing something. I had all these reasons why I got high or I drank. This helps me with my anxiety. My anxiety came to almost a screeching halt when I stopped drinking, compared to how much anxiety was welled up inside of me while I was drinking. My mental stability came back. I started being able to enjoy the simple things in life again. Going for a walk, feeling sunshine on me, being able to connect with somebody in a conversation, looking at my wife's boobs, the simple things that when I was out there strung out and using wouldn't have done anything for me. I started, and it's all a neurological thing. You're literally, every time you're using, in a habitual way, you're rerouting neural pathways in your brain to the limbic center, which releases things like serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, and your brain eventually tells you that's the only way you get those things, is through those chemicals. So by breaking that pattern, it's difficult to do, but once you do, you start getting those chemicals from just natural shit. A good workout. You know what I'm saying? Going and floating the fucking river. Those types of things, man. My life is so much happier. I don't ever want to use anything again, bro. I have been absolutely cured. And I prayed to God before I was able to quit. I prayed to God, man, please just cure me or kill me, because I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I was on a jail floor in a cell with 6 other dudes locked in this cell. It stank. It was nasty. And I was willing to do anything. Short of sucking a dick, I would have done anything. And so when I got into a program, I kept that energy. And, that energy is what got me to where I am today, which is over 6 years sober, still fucked up, still flawed, still make mistakes every single day. But I'm happy, man. I love my life. Celine, what up, JD? Much love to our fellow Americans. I wish our government would lock in and do their job. In my opinion, we need to clean house while shutting down aid for non-essential ops. US 1. America first. America first, America only. I'm with you 100%. Death Silence. Personally, I think that the church and parishioners should sue Don Lemon and the organizers before the DOJ decide to prosecute them. No money means no lawyers. Well, here's the thing is that it could take literal decades for a lawsuit like that to go through. I would like to see them do that, but I want to see these people off the streets because they're already, and we're going to get into this here. There's already people in the Minnesota government who are encouraging more of this behavior. So I would not be at all shocked. In fact, I'd be shocked if they don't do something by next Sunday and put these people in jail. You're going to see this happen again next Sunday. I thoroughly believe you're going to see this happen again next Sunday. Unless they actually do something, more kids will be traumatized. More people's First Amendment rights to freedom of religion are they're going to fuck these people, bro, if they don't do something. And I'm tired of nobody doing anything in this country. Yo, Cypher Zero, what's up, dog? America gang gang, hell yeah. Bulcupine, that's a sick name, bro. That's a sick name. Many of both sides need to be in asylums. You're not wrong. Not just liberals, not just conservatives, but all those with a cult-like, I'm right, you're wrong, if you ain't with me, you're against me mentality. And it's definitely not a one-sided thing, brother. It's definitely not a one-sided thing. I 100% agree with you on that. I want to grab this. Let's get into this really quick. This is what we were talking about.
Get to that. I want to get to the breaking news we have just heard. The FBI has apparently just served subpoenas to several officials here in Minneapolis, including members of the office of Governor Tim Walz. We will bring you more information as we get it on those subpoenas. Meantime, the number of protesters out here at the federal building is diminishing every day, it seems, but the war of words between local officials and the Trump administration. Get to that. I want to get to the breaking.
So Frey and Walz have been served subpoenas. They've been served subpoenas for the fraud shit and for continuing to incite this illegal behavior in the streets. As they damn well should be. As they damn well should be. Here's something I really liked. This is let me get this bigger on screen for you guys so you guys can enjoy this the way I enjoy this. The Pam Bondi excuse generator. Snacks exceeded the budget, ran out of toner. The courthouse was too cold. Interagency coordination. It's on my desk. The Epstein files are on my desk. I have all the videos and all the evidence. It's on my desk. We're going to be dropping it. The dog ate the arrest warrants. Comic Sans on warrant. Donors requested more delay. Fuck, bro. Oh, those Epstein files must be so grimy. Protecting the integrity of the investigation. The focus group needed snacks. This is it's crazy how many people are coming out to clown Pam Bondi. It seems like the general public has lost all faith in our Department of Justice. That's a scary place to be. Because we're fucking Americans over here. And when you corner Americans and make them feel like nobody is there to help keep their families safe, Americans are going to stand up and they're going to do it themselves. Americans are going to be those ones. You can only push so much and have nobody intervene. That's law enforcement's job, is to intervene. When people are being victimized, they come in and get the perpetrator so the victims are safe. But when you continually victimize Americans, especially, let's face it, the people who are doing this crazy shit are the ones on the left. And who do you think is better at warfare? The people on the left or the people on the right? Let me know in the chat. Who do you think would be better at war? The people on the left or the people on the right? Not as a rule, but, the majority of us. Do you think the majority of the people on the left are going to be better at violence than the people on the right? I'm just waiting to see this come in. The right. The people on the right. Trev, love you, buddy. The right. One love to Jackson the Pups. The right. Haven't seen one left. And there's always one person. It's not even a question. Yeah. There's like almost always one person who says the opposite just to be the rebel. And I've not seen a single person. Right? But lefties loot. Yes, the lefties would absolutely loot. They would loot. The Nike store and the Apple store, they would be empty. They would be absolutely empty. But, you know, if it came down to it, who do you think is going to be better at violence? The people that are classically, you know, people who are blue collar, salt of the earth, working people, that the majority of the military, the majority of law enforcement, or the people who don't know if they can be a girl with a penis, dog. I mean, come on. So when the left is pushing the right over and over and over again, and big shout out to Blood on the Razor Wire TV. We got Chad up in this bitch. Big love to you, dog. Thank you for being here. So when the left pushes the right over and over and over again, and law enforcement doesn't come in and fucking handle business, do what we pay them to do, and we feel cornered and trapped, how do you think that ends, bro? You think we're just gonna get bullied forever by demented retards? Men in fucking dresses? Women with more testosterone than the men? I'm sorry, it's gonna end poorly. So, a lot of people are really disillusioned by watching this Department of Justice continually not do anything. Okay, we're gonna have a round table and talk about all these Antifa fucking terrorists. We're gonna designate them as terrorists, and then we're not gonna arrest anybody. Are you fucking dumb? Okay, we're gonna let people, you know, invade neighborhoods, burn down communities. Now they're going into churches. People aren't gonna put up with that, bro. The people that are good at violence aren't gonna put up with that shit. It's only gonna go so far. And I guarantee you, if they don't wrap some people up before Sunday and put them in cuffs and make an actual fucking example out of them, there's gonna be more of this raiding churches. And if you pulled that shit in my church in Florida, Salty Church, I promise you, they would have been fucking puddles, bro. These people would have been puddles. And you know what Mike Chitwood, the sheriff out there, would have done? He'd have come out and been like, yep, thanks, we'll clean up the mess from here. Y'all go back to your service. God bless. Because that's how it should be. That's how it should be.
Here's the simple fact here. If you're a young parent struggling to afford childcare in the United States of America, there are programs that we have to make it easier for your kids to get in daycare, for your kids to get in preschool. Those programs should go to American citizens, not be defrauded by Somali immigrants and others. Make it hard for you to get the access to the resources you need. But number two, making it easier for people who shouldn't even be in this country to fleece the United States and our taxpayers to begin with.
I'll take that a step farther, you guys. Our federal government should not be funding childcare for anyone that's not a U.S. citizen. It should not be funding food stamps for anyone that's not a U.S. citizen. It should not be funding these programs that are taken out of our tax dollars to go to people that aren't U.S. citizens. That all should be it's not a right. Nobody has the fucking right to our tax dollars. It's a privilege that people who are down on their luck, people that need a hand up, not a career lifestyle living off other people's tax dollars, but people who need it for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? People that need to be pulled up a little bit can get it temporarily. That should be a privilege that only applies to U.S. citizens. Do you agree with me? Am I being a heartless fucking monster? Or does that make sense?
We have actually activated a major interagency task force to make it possible to get to the heart of this fraud. We have Department of Agriculture resources that are focused on SNAP fraud so that people who need food benefits can get them, but illegal aliens and other fraudsters don't.
Absolutely. And the fact that we extended to them in certain states where people have this suicidal empathy and they're violently retarded, we extended to them our tax dollars and they used that against us. They weaponized that against us. Make no mistake, this isn't just about defrauding people out of their tax money. These people were taking millions of dollars from the American taxpayer. It totals in billions just in Minnesota alone, but they were sliding millions back into our elections to fund campaigns for very leftist, socialist, Muslim candidates. It's trying to do a takeover. They're using our own tax dollars to try to take over our fucking country because we extended our hand to help them. If that doesn't fucking make you mad, I don't know what we're doing here, man. I don't know what we're doing here.
We have over 1,500 subpoenas that the Department of Justice has issued to get to the heart of the fraud ring. We've done almost 100 indictments, mostly Somali immigrants, but also a few others. And of course, we're looking in with broad investigatory authority to a number of the instances of wrongdoing that we've seen in Minneapolis. But we also want to expand this. We know that the fraud isn't just happening in Minneapolis, it's also happening in states like Ohio. It's happening in states like California. And so what we're doing in order to help coordinate this remarkable interagency effort from the Trump administration, but also to make sure that we prosecute the bad guys and do it as swiftly and efficiently as possible, is we are creating a new Assistant Attorney General position who will have nationwide jurisdiction over the issue of fraud. Now, of course, that person's efforts will start and focus primarily in Minnesota, but it is going to be a nationwide effort because, unfortunately, the American people have been defrauded in a very nationwide way.
So, everything he's saying, will there be follow through? Because you've run out of road with the talking, and we give you credit for your talking because we haven't seen the follow through. I don't want to hear any more yappy. I want to see perp walks. I want to see people in handcuffs. I want to see people catching federal indictments and ending up going to prison the same way you would or I would if we defrauded the federal government for millions of dollars. If this was you or me, we would be, what's up, babe? We would be going to federal prison. You guys, I'd like to welcome Jax,
I'm so sorry.
Nova, and Zero. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come
I
here.
was just trying to get him to go to work with
Come here,
Dad
buddy.
because he was getting annoyed with the girls.
Oh, was he? He wanted some dad time?
Yeah.
You guys, we have a special guest tonight with us. This is Zero, the Boston terrorist. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
He was
Yes,
so
your
happy.
tongue smells very bad.
They kept
Very bad.
taking the
Come
toy
here, Nova.
away from him, and
Moxie.
he was upset.
Here is Moxie, the French bulldog. This is the baby. This is the baby right here. Sorry, we got a little off track, but these guys are the real
so
stars.
sorry.
So yeah, these are our babies, and we love them. And let's bring the baby. Come here, Nova. Come say hi.
I think she doubled in size.
Come say
overnight.
hi. So she's gotten a lot bigger since the last time you guys saw Nova. She's our baby, and she's a very sweet girl. Mwah. Yes, you're a good girl. She is a fluffy Frenchie.
Yeah, she just had a bath a few minutes ago.
I could tell by the way she doesn't smell like shit, and I don't feel poo dreads on her. I like it when she doesn't have poo dreads. She's an interesting dog. She's interesting.
She's so cute, though.
She's being very sweet with me right now. I really enjoy this dog.
Yeah, I've been tiring her out, so she sleeps well tonight.
So,
All right, come to Mama.
there you go. Go to your mom.
That's a baby.
Do you want to stay and go to work? You want to stay and go to work, buddy? So,
Love to everyone. Moxie, come with Mama.
love you, baby.
Love you.
Thank you for swinging in.
You're welcome. Stay Zero. Good boy.
Dominar said, starting recovery, you're afraid of surrender because you don't want to lose control, but you've never had control. All you had was anxiety. Elizabeth Gilbert. I'm going to tell you this right now. That was powerful because surrender to me was the hardest part. Surrender to me was the hardest part because I felt like I needed to be in control. I feel like I needed to be the man. I had all this pride and all of this ego. And what I realized is that, like, I was a slave to little bags of powder or pills or a bottle. I wasn't the one behind the wheel. Because every single time that I ran out of drugs, that call came. I have to get more. And I picked up the phone every single time, whether I wanted to or not. And if I didn't have the money, I went out and did shit that went against my moral compass to get it. So that was me not being in control anymore. Surrendering to recovery gave me freedom. And I can tell you this, I was more free in prison, completely sober, than I was on the streets, strung out and a slave to those little bags and those bottles, man. So thank you for that inspiring quote, brother. I love you. Romulus Mars, America first, but I can be an Irish citizen. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Blood on the Razor Wire TV, man. So good to see you here tonight, Chad. Huge love and respect to you. One of the absolute OGs of prison content. If you're not subbed to Chad, you should be. El Jefe! In a collapsed cities have about 3 days of food on hand. I never hunted, but 90% of the people I know do, along with land to farm, and I have pew-pews capable of it. Well, you know, once that 3 days runs out, imagine our society collapses. And in 3 days, the first thing that happens when society collapses is they raid the fuck out of every store. Say there's no food left that you can buy. Uber Eats and DoorDash aren't delivering. And it comes down to survival of the fittest. It comes down to who can take from who. That's what it comes down to if you live in a city. Is, can I take my neighbor's shit by force? And that's until the resources run out. Then things get really hectic. Who do you think's going to do better? We already did a poll on who's going to do better. It's not going to be the left. It's not going to be the people who are like, man, I went to Walmart and I got all the blue hair dye. I got all the blue hair dye and tampons, even though I have a penis. Those people are not going to be the people who survive. There's going to be a huge reset if that happens, you guys. Death silence. The right hunts and guts to eat. The left can't decide what bathroom to use. Do with that information what you will. What a poignant fucking super to come right after that last one, man. And right after my little ranty rant. Y'all know I be ranty ranting. LCPL Testa. I hope I fucked your name up. I'm sorry, big dog. Don Lemon's white husband looks like Jeffrey Epstein. Change my mind. I will not change your mind. And it's hilarious that Don Lemon did that interview where he was talking about churches not wanting to be interrupted by violently retarded protesters screaming like demons is a symptom of white supremacy. Bro, you suck white dick. You slarf down white hog, bro. You don't get to fucking come out here and call people white supremacists because they want to go to church without you interrupting them and making their children cry, bro. You know what I'm saying? You throat some unmelanated wiener. So, yeah. No, that dude does look like Jeffrey Epstein. Romulus Mars. I was a homeless vet in Boston while illegal immigrants were getting hotels. Mayor of Boston had a no whites Christmas party. This is that shit, bro. The words that should never touch each other, they should never be side by side in this country is homeless and veteran. Homeless vet should not exist. But we have money and resources to put illegal immigrants in fancy hotels. And imagine if you had a no blacks Christmas party, a no Mexicans Christmas party, a no Jews Christmas party, any of that shit. Imagine how that shit would go. Especially if it was a mayor or anyone that was a city official, a government official in any capacity. What you just said, Romulus Mars, I apologize on behalf of our country because you deserve better. I apologize on behalf of the people of the United States of America because that never should have existed. Homeless and veteran should never, ever fucking mix. I'm sorry, big dog. I love you, and I want to honor your service and your sacrifice, man. Dorfus, look into Carolyn Borensenko, someone who is actually researching the dangerous far left. So, like, I actually know Dr. Carlin. We actually met in the streets of Portland doing the whole Antifa thing. Me and her have some clashes on some stuff. She started calling me a MAGA retard because I disagreed with her on a couple things. And I'm not MAGA. I've never been MAGA. You guys know I'm not right. I'm not left. But I disagreed with her, and she has some sort of ego issue with anybody that disagrees with her. And then she starts just throwing out slurs. Like, I listen to people, and I think, you know, I can learn. I thought, you know, truly, you're a resource. You're an asset because you've been out there actually, you know, you've been actually out there doing some good work. She's done good work. I'll give her credit for that. And I put respect on good work. But then she started like doxing the locations of where people like Tommy, you know, our friend Tommy Boy, TKO Tommy, was going to be, and letting Antifa know that they were coming. And she said a lot of bad shit about Right Side Rebel, who, in my opinion, it was completely unwarranted. Completely unwarranted to call her a MAGA whore and a slut and all this stuff. Like, I get it. You're awful to look at. And Rebel is not that person. But, like, why are you calling her all these names? It's ugly and it's gross and it's weird, bro. So I'm, you know, I respect her work, but as a human being, I have zero respect for Dr. Carlin. Manowar, Americans first, always. Always. And I expect that if you're in any other country for you to feel the same way about your people. I believe in that type. I believe in that type of fucking ideology. Paul said, make pattern recognition great again. Dog, I don't disagree. I do not disagree. Yo, thank you, DFRX Hydro. Texas T said, JD, it's going to take years of current administration to clean out the American last DOJ employees and judges. I see perp walks happening in 2027 with rock solid evidence, but 2026, we will see anti-American rioters jailed. And that would be the start. That would be great. I'd like to see them do anything. I'd like to see Pam Bondi get in there and do anything, or they need to remove Pam Bondi and they need to remove her sooner than later. And I have a prediction that within the next few months, Pam Bondi will be replaced in that situation. I'm not saying that she can't get some shit done in another position, but I have zero faith in her in the position that she's in because she's shown us nothing. Now, I understand that they have a lot of the old DOJ and that it's a time-consuming process for some of this stuff. But sis, look at the video of the church. It's all on video. We can all see everything that transpired. They uploaded the evidence to the internet. The internet is forever. And on top of that, we already have, thanks to the people on X, the names of each and every person that was there. And we know that they work for the Minnesota, Minneapolis government. So it's a slam dunk. They gave us all the evidence right off rip. I would like to see her out. I think she's earned that, in my opinion. Lone Star. LCPL is Lance Corporal. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lance Corporal. Thank you, Lone Star. I'm sorry, Lance Corporal. See, and that's the thing. I am always stoked when somebody teaches me something. I'm never going to be like, oh, I know everything. I don't know shit, bro. I'm a dude with an internet connection. You might like some of my takes, and you might be like, this dude's fucking dumb on other stuff. Like I was fucking dumb not knowing what the abbreviation for Lance Corporal is. And you guys come in and educate me, and I consider that a bless every single time, man. Every single time. Thank you, Lone Star. Sorry, Lance Corporal. I owed you that respect, and I apologize. Mike Zero Source. Survival of the fittest. We're screwed if Wes Watson is in the mix. Oh, no. Oh, no. He went to prison. Just ask him. He's the baddest dude out there. He's going to be back in prison, dog. I'm thinking about flying out to Miami to go sit front row for his sentencing. Just imagine me, John Bravo, oh boy Dubs, Jesse on Fire. Just imagine a whole bunch of us, Bubba, sitting front row at Wes Watson's sentencing down there Miami way. You imagine the look on his face when he looks out and sees all these people that he hates? Oh, God, that shit would be fire. That would be like such a worthwhile fucking expenditure to do a real life troll. Starvos, what up, big dog? What's up, JD, my friend? She's a nurse at a school in Whittier, California, and she told me the school got fined $10,000 for not having tampon dispensers in the boys' room. Fuck you, Newscomb. Bro, I asked my kid is 10 years old. I asked my kid if they have tampon dispensers in the boys' room at his school, and he's like, yeah, why do we have tampons in there? I like my guy, bro. He's 10 years old, bro. It's crazy. It's not just California, it's Oregon too. Alex, tax refund. There's a lot of people out there who are also playing with fire, talking about we're not going to pay our taxes. I just want you to know the feds exist. The feds are real. And just because you see them not going after these Antifa retards doesn't mean they won't come after you when it comes to some money. When it comes to some money, they get real motivated real quick. Roman Wolf Gaming. Explain pre-trial versus trial. Plea deal available on pre. So, pre-trial is like, the trial is actually like just the time that you're going every day and you're going in and the prosecution and the defense are making their arguments. They're presenting witnesses. They're presenting evidence. Pre-trial, there's months and months that lead up to trials. It could be years. I was in jail with a dude who had a federal armed career criminal charge because he was living in a tent and they found one bullet shell casing in his tent, but he had multiple convictions for bank robbery. And so they hit him with an armed career criminal, and he had been in county jail waiting on trial for 4 years when I met him. And he was still there when I left. When I went into pretrial, sometimes you're locked up for it. Sometimes you can get out. I had to pay a $140,000 bond to be able to get out on pretrial and not sit in jail the entire time, which ended up being over 20 months on my Florida case. Florida cases. There were multiple cases, multiple counties. A plea deal, sometimes during pretrial, they'll offer you a plea deal. And they'll offer you a plea deal generally the morning of trial as well, because they don't ever want to take anything to trial. You guys have to understand it's extremely expensive to take it to trial. It takes days and days, sometimes months. Some trials last months and months, bro. So they want you to take a deal and they'll offer you like, okay, we'll drop this charge, we'll lower this charge to this, and you plead guilty to this charge, and we'll give you, 5 years instead of 10. And that's a plea deal, bro. Lance Corporal, big love to you, man. All good. Hoorah! Hell yeah, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. I apologize for my ignorance, sir. You deserved better. Educated Hillbilly, check it out, brother. Love to you, Jackson, the mods. I'll post a pic of my boy in the snow this weekend when getting expected 12 inches in North Carolina. Big love and respect to you. Big love and respect to your family. Stay warm and safe and dry, and we'll see you real soon. RM Sloan, thank you so much. Death Silence. The way shit's going in Minneapolis or Minnesota, it'd almost be cheaper to hire Kyle Rittenhouse as an ICE agent to straighten that state out. It's funny because I talk to Kyle Rittenhouse almost daily. Me and him have become really good friends. His take on going down there, because people keep asking him to go, is that it's just going to create more violence. And Kyle doesn't want to create more violence. I know that he trolls and everything because the left comes for him really hard, but he doesn't want to create more violence. So he's actually a really good-hearted dude, man. 45 Mistaken identity. Tampons for bloody noses. You know, tampons work for bloody noses. Tampons, I've also heard, work good for gunshot wounds. And for dudes after they get railed out like Don Lemon when he's taking that white pipe. 6's mom. I'm always flexing, and I know you're jealous. Can't wait to see you and Jax on your honeymoon. Aloha from Kauai. You'll love it. Oh, dude, and that, yo, your picture, sis, that is gorgeous. It's calling me. I'm going to tell you this right now. If we didn't have kids that were in school, I would all the way make it happen now. We would come to Hawaii. I've never been there, and it's been on my dream list forever. Dominar said the troublemakers need to be dropped into a obolette. What is an obolette? Can somebody explain to me what an obolette is? Because I feel like I know what an obolette is, and I'm just not thinking of it. Hold on. Hey, Siri, what is an obolette?
An oval is a closed curve in a plane which resembles the...
Somebody's going to have to tell me because Siri is violently retarded. Bulcubine. To fix this shit, I feel we really need a full government reset. Congressional term limits. Yes. Yes. An obolette is a pit. Okay, a vestibule, a pit. Underground dungeon with a trapdoor ceiling. Yes, there we go. There we go. Term limits. No parties. Smaller independently drawn districts. Fewer departments. Clear defined powers for all branches. Yes, and that would allow for smaller government, which I am always in full support of smaller government. I want smaller government in this country. I absolutely do. So, you know, I like what JD Vance is saying, but I'm tired of the saying, and I want some actual doing. This is a clip from my boy Nick Sorter, and this is Commander Bovino calling out Mayor Frey and Tim Walz for telling leftists to call 911 when they see ICE. Imagine blocking 911 emergency services and calling them and telling them, hey, I saw a federal law enforcement agent. How stupid do you have to be in working government and be like, yeah, this is a good thing to encourage my people to do. That dog got me with a hair, and it's killing me. It's killing me. It's killing me. Oh, that's not even a hair. That's fucking dog slobber that dried. It looks like fucking skeet, bro. That shit it's like skeet. Oh, no. Okay, life goes on. We're going to live. We're going to live. I have dog mouth skeet on me. It's all good. Here we go. Let's listen to Bovino, you guys.
Sure. Again, our Border Patrol agents, ICE officers, and those allied federal law enforcement agencies are out there conducting Title VIII immigration, the Title VIII immigration mission. And I'll tell you, when you have a mayor and a police chief, O'Hara, that say call 911 when ICE or Border Patrol's in the neighborhood, and then they wonder why the 911 system is overwhelmed with superfluous calls with superfluous calls for assistance when that is not true. So we're going to continue to be out in.
How about drag whoever's trying to interrupt him out of that fucking room, bro? How about drag that motherfucker who's trying to interrupt a dude while he's speaking at the podium with the microphone out that fucking room, bro?
The community. And we're going to continue to conduct that mission, that legal, lawful Title VIII mission. And, again, I've been out with my Border Patrol agents. Marcos is out constantly with his troops. Again.
So here's what I think needs to happen. Frey and Walz need to be held accountable for encouraging people to do that. And anybody who calls 911 to report seeing ICE agents needs to be prosecuted. You know you could be prosecuted for wrongly calling 911. That is an actual crime. Hey Siri, what crime is it when you call 911 for no reason? Siri is 0 out of 2 tonight, you guys. Siri is not being helpful. But I know that it's a thing because I actually had a friend who got in trouble for it. He was really high on meth. Hold on, let me tell this story. He was really high on meth, and have you guys ever heard of the shadow people? So a common thing for people to see when they're off on that whoop chicken, when they're all spattergacked, when they're just, been up for 8 days and they're going 10 to 2, rolling a bubble. For those only people who are tweakers will know what I'm talking about. But when you're smoking meth or shooting meth or snorting meth, people will see the shadow people. I am very acquainted with the shadow people. So the shadow people apparently were harassing this dude, and he kept calling 911. And the cops came out a couple times, and they're like, yeah, this dude's clearly insane. He's high, but he's on his own property, so there's not really anything we can do about it. And they told him, next time you call 911, we're going to arrest you. And they did. So I think these people should be arrested for calling 911, making it impossible for them to be able to get calls that are actually relevant. Like Minneapolis is a very violent place, you guys. Minneapolis is a violent place. They have real crimes going on. They have real shit happening outside of just people being violently retarded. They have real stuff that they need to address. And they're putting the community in danger by wasting 911's resources. So you guys know, if you've been with me for any amount of time, that when I went out to Portland to deal with Antifa, right here, this location that's on screen, the ICE detention facility out there, that the very first person that came up to us and started acting like a complete and total fucking ass clown was dressed as a chicken. It was a retard in a chicken suit. A gender-neutral retard in a chicken suit. And this video makes my heart happy. But real quick, before we get into this, I want to throw this on screen because it's always so good to see my brother James, man. James, thank you so much, brother. Big love and respect. As always, I appreciate that more than you could possibly know. Means a lot, big dog. Thank you for helping us out with that support. They have no decency. None. At all whatsoever. For you to take away there could be a child being raped. There could be a woman being murdered. There could be, an elderly person having a medical emergency. So when you're taking up 911 resources, and that's how I feel about the people who have swatted me 6 times too. They're also going through a veterans hotline, a veterans sewer slide hotline to do that. So you're wasting the resources of veterans that are trying to save their lives and of my local community. It's an utter lack of human decency, bro. Utter lack of human decency. So, I want to show you this. Keep in mind, the chicken is one of my arch nemesises. I hate that fucking chicken! Stupid chicken! But this makes me happy. Yes, 6 times. I've been swatted 6 times. Look at the chicken, you guys! Get him! Yeah! So the chicken is front and center up there with the pink frog. You can see his stupid yellow chicken hood! Damn chicken! And they come out just do. What they're doing is they're shooting a whole bunch of them pepper balls, man. Them pepper balls. F that chicken. So they took the frog. Oh, they're just... Did you see that? They're just spraying them, bro. Watch this. Look at that. They're just spraying them. They're not legally allowed to be on that property. And they've been told that 100 fucking times. That every time somebody crosses that line onto federal property, they get detained, they get shot with pepper balls, whatever happens. And they decided they were going to be ballsy, and all these people were going to trespass. In a sign of solidarity for Renee Good, our spiritual leader, Renee Good, who dropped her kid off and then decided to go fuck with federal agents and got slimed and ended up decoration, finger painted on an airbag with the brain matter. And so this is what happens. This makes me so happy, bro. Is the chicken a lib? The chicken is absolutely a fucking spineless liberal. Absolutely. Spray! This is so dope. This is so dope.
Pussy! Pussy! Fuck you! Fuck you! Come on out! Come on out! Come on out!
Ah! Ah! They're dragging that chicken! They're dragging that chicken! Ah! You got pepper sprayed, now you're getting dragged across pavement! You dumb chicken! Ah! Yeah!
Fucking pussy!
Brutalize him!
Fuck you! Come on!
Ah!
Come on out! Guys.
Yeah!
Right here!
Woo!
Fucking coward! Fuck you!
Yeah! Yeah! Oh, yeah, that's beautiful, bro. That's beautiful. Oh! Die mad! Die mad about it! Oh! Die mad! Put your weapons down! Shoot him more! Shoot him more!
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Oh man, they're so pissed! Oh! Murderers! Murderers! Nobody got murdered, bro. That shit was comedy. That was comedy. That was the best thing I've seen in months, bro. Like, that was, honestly, huge ice W right there. Huge ice W. Huge win. That needed to happen for so damn long. Yo, they got that damn chicken. James Swain, I have a chicken suit ordered for you, brother. Stop. Stop, bro. Dude, can you imagine the chicken on chicken mano a mano? Put your wings up, bitch. Boom. Type shit. I love you, brother. Thank you so much. Bro, this made me so happy when I heard about it last night. I couldn't wait to share it with you guys. I'm so stoked.
I know who the fuck you are. I'm good at you, you pieces of shit. Don't murder them. Don't murder them. Don't murder them. Don't murder them.
Such a huge win, you guys. Praise God. Praise God. Such a huge win. That was just great. What a present. What a gift. What an absolutely wonderful thing that was just given to us. I know I'm probably a lot happier about it than you guys are, but that chicken deserved it. No one is nobody. Aren't you a felon? I am very much a felon. Yes, I was held accountable for my actions. And I took accountability for my actions. Yes, that's how it's supposed to work, dog. That's how it's supposed to work. Yes, I'm very much a felon. I have many, many felony convictions. God, that made me so happy. I'm so glad I could share that with you guys. So, people that need to be in asylums, I'm thinking this dude right here is high on the list of people that need to be in asylums out of anybody that I've seen. This is the dude who went in the church and was screaming in the faces of children and yelling.
I mean, what we're seeing around this country is they're using their political influence to attack people that disagree with them. they're going to come at me with charges, and I'm not scared of that. There's no base for these charges. I did not block them from, their service. They welcomed us in. They never asked us to leave. The police never came in and removed us. So we didn't stop their service. In fact, people were still praying the entire time.
Well, here's the thing, is that this happened in Minneapolis. And in Minneapolis, the police, if you call them, they don't show up. They don't show up. Nick Sorter tried multiple times to get the police to come when he was being attacked. So just because the police didn't show up doesn't mean the feds aren't going to come for you. You fucking retard. You should know this.
Music was still playing the entire time. So, Pam Bondi, you want to come and arrest me? You want to come and give me charges? So be it. And for all the people giving me death threats, threatening my...
You hear that, Pam Bondi? He doesn't think you're going to do anything. Him, as well as most other Americans, don't think you're going to do a fuck thing, Pam Bondi. Someone send this to Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi, this dude says you ain't shit. This dude says you ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't about that life. He thinks he has more power in this country than you do. Prove him wrong. Prove him wrong, sis. Do something for once. Protect the American people. It's your fucking job. You're the head of the Department of Justice. Give us a little fucking justice.
My life? Kill me. Go ahead, kill me. Because you know what? As Fred Hampton said, you can kill the revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolution.
You're not a revolutionary, and it's not a revolution. You're a mentally ill fucking retard. I see you, Rusty Shackelford, and I love you, big dog. Good to see you. You're just a mentally ill retard. And when you get to prison, you're going to find out really quickly. Really quickly. Like Rusty said, he won't last long in prison. No, he won't. None of these Antifa retards are going to last very long in prison. It is not a space that is safe for them. It is not a space that is safe for them. And I want to bring this up on screen real quick. The caption on this is, me after holding my breath waiting for arrest from the Bondi DOJ. This is a widely shared sentiment, is that people are going to die waiting for the Department of Justice to bring us any fucking justice. I mean, they're not wrong. They're not wrong, man. This right here, I think is important. Let's see what Noam says about this, because she too is saying there's going to be arrests.
And that pastor really did a remarkable thing there, trying to protect his parishioners.
And even the parishioners, I imagine, feel intimidated and.
They did, and there's going to be arrests in the next several hours, Greta. There will be arrests tied to that, and people will be brought to justice for how they violated the law in that situation.
Well, Don Lemon is a journalist, and so I thought he was going, and so when I first saw it, I assumed he was going in as a journalist covering it. I mean, I go into bad places and ask questions all the time. But when his comment about the white supremacy all of a sudden made me think, well, maybe he wasn't there as a journalist.
Yeah, well, Greta, not only that comment, but the fact that ahead of time, before this even happened, he said that he had conducted some surveillance before they went into this church. He identified individuals that were going in with him that were activists in the work that they'd done in the past. The fact that this entire situation was then posted on the Black Lives Matter website, all of that is something that they're going to be responsible for.
So she said arrests are going to be happening in hours. It's been hours. We're waiting. I don't see any headline about Don Lemon or anybody else being arrested. TikTok, Christy Nome. Don't talk about it, be about it. Where are these fucking arrests we're hearing about? Because that clip is hours old right now. That clip is hours old.
News alert, Ilhan Omar under investigation after racking up millions while she was in Congress. Senior national correspondent Kevin Cork has it. What's up, Kevin? Good to see you, my friend. What's the old saying? Follow the money? Well, that's precisely what the House Oversight Committee is doing. They are probing squad member Ilhan Omar's skyrocketing family wealth, Jesse, especially in the wake of that $9 billion, some would argue $19 billion, Somali social services fraud scandal that exploded in her district in Minnesota. The oversight chair, James Comer, says his team's lawyers are exploring the extraordinary step of subpoenaing Omar's spouse over his curious business practices. Republicans want to know how the Somali-born Omar and her politically connected husband, Tim Minette, went from being nearly broke to being worth around $30 million in just a year.
How do you come into this country and decide you hate it? Decide that you hate this country and that white people are the biggest threat to this country, and you know everything about this fucking country. She's been here less time than my youngest child has been alive. My child has been in America longer than this bitch with this fucking nose ring. She was 10, 12 years ago. She was out there training with fucking Al-Shabaab. Now she's in Congress. She comes to this fucking country. All she does is talk shit constantly about this country, but she's a 30 millionaire. She's been in this country less than a decade, and she's acquired $30 million of our fucking money. And she makes $174,000 a year. She's been in office for what now, 3 years? 3 years? Something like that. Don't hold me to that. Might be 4, might be 2. But she's got $30 million now being in this country. She came here with nothing. And now she's got $30 million. And she hates this country. And she says that brown people don't have a chance in this country. White people are too much of a problem. She's a 30 millionaire. Anybody in my chat worth 30 million? I know I'm sure as fuck not. I'm a thousandaire, dog. I'm a thousandaire. And I'm stoked that I'm a thousandaire. But she's worth $30 million and she hates this country. And there's not opportunity here for brown people because of white supremacy. Get all the way the fuck out. And I'm not saying that metaphorically. I mean, get the fuck out of my country, you demented fucking whore. Get out of here. You've stolen from us. You've stolen from us. That money is fucking stolen money. Strip her of her money. Send her back to Somalia. Seize her assets. Send her home. And no more people who weren't born in this country being allowed to be in office running this country. Period. I don't care what fucking color you are. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care if you have a penis or a vagina. I don't care what consenting adults you have sex with. But if you weren't born in this country, you don't get to run the country. Period. Period.
According to her 2024 disclosure forms, quoting Comer now, there are a lot of questions as to how her husband accumulated so much wealth over the past 2 years. It's not possible. It's not. He's a money guy. Minette and his partner, Will Haler, back in 2022, formed an investment firm, Jesse, named Rose Lake Capital. They had $42 in their bank account at the time, but
$42 to $30 million. Wow, guys. That sure adds up.
In a year, up to $25 million, according to Omar's filing. By the way, he also has a wine business that went from next to nothing to millions on its books. Not surprisingly, associates were so perplexed about the irregularities, they brought information and attention to the feds to, look into it. Now, for her part, the Congresswoman has repeatedly, and I say defiantly, denied any wrongdoing while being also careful to criticize the ongoing probe. But, sometimes they say, Jesse, the ones who yell the loudest have the most to hide.
So listen to me. She fucking hates us. She hates our country. She hates our way of life. She manipulates our Constitution and our principles and our empathy and our compassion and the fact that we're loving people the fact that we care and that we're open to trying to make things happen for other people from other countries. She uses all of that against us to steal from us while spewing hateful rhetoric and trying to demonize those of us who stand up for our country and have patriotism to her weird fucking mentally ill followers so she can incite them to violence against us. What would you call that? What would you call that? I would call that treason. You should be able to hang people for treason. We used to do it all the time. We used to hang people for treason all the time. I personally think we should start hanging people for treason again. What do you guys think? Sedition. Sedition is parallel with treason, yes. Yes. I think we should bring back capital punishment for this type of shit, bro. Absolutely. This is absolutely insane, bro.
Well, innocent until proven guilty. I'm sure everything was perfectly legal. We're just checking to find out.
I like that they are covering their asses so they don't get sued by a mentally ill Somalian. RM Sloan, I know I'm late, but yes, bring back the Asylums. My dog, hell yeah. John said, sup JD, love you brother, speaking the truth. Love you too, John, thank you for being here. James Bond, the walkout like government shutdown, irrelevant, unnoticed. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, today there was a huge walkout. All the people on the left walked out of their gender studies classes and left Starbucks early to go and do a big protest by walking out. It was tens of people around the country, and nobody noticed and nobody cared. A few people didn't get their lattes, and a few kids didn't receive their gender-affirming care. Other than that, it didn't even happen. Nobody even noticed. Truth Junkie, maybe an investigation into who is paying for these LARPers should be undertaken, because they don't work, so where do they get their money from? Fraud. Soros. Fraud. Be my guess. Pando Pop, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Ajax, what is up, big dog? Dems are full stop commies and will never storm Muslim mosques. No, they wouldn't, bro. No, they wouldn't. They want to kill preborn. If they fail, they will turn him into one of the 74 genders. Well, that's fucking just about it, isn't it? And dude, that picture of you is so gangster. You carrying that dog through the desert. Bro, my utmost respect to you, brother. My utmost. Thank you for being here with us tonight, man. It's an honor to have you, Ajax. Kamikaze. They fuck around, they find out. Not while Pam Bondi's in office. Ugh, fuck me, bro. Lone Star. Prepped the chicken for spicy chicken stew. Hell yeah. Gani, you heard about the fake dentist in Atlanta who just got arrested last year? He has over 100 charges and is facing 888 years in prison. Isn't he the one that pretended to be a dentist and was doing dental work on people even though he didn't know what the fuck he was doing? That's so crazy, dude. That's so... How do you even get into that, bro? That's fucking insane. 888 years, too. That's fucking crazy. Turd Ferguson said liberals want conservatives to be held accountable for their actions and then cry when they're held accountable. Absolutely. Absolutely. They don't think that they want to defund law enforcement until they need to call 911 because somebody defended themselves when they attacked them. Wilbertson! Puppy Link, bro. Wilbertson, look at that pup. Oh my God, that is beautiful, bro. I love you, big dog. Kathy, so good to see you tonight. Thank you. Stone FPV. Did you see they arrested white firearms instructor guy in Minneapolis that threatened ICE while holding his AR? Did they? Did they arrest that dude? Did he actually threaten ICE? The video clip that I saw, he wasn't threatening anybody. I didn't know he was a firearms instructor. Did they really arrest him? I'm shocked that they actually arrested somebody, to be honest with you. I'm going to have to look into that. Thank you. Bulkupine. I agree, only natural-born U.S. citizens should hold federal office, but we would have to amend the Constitution, which isn't easy. It needs to happen. It needs to happen because we've had so many foreign invaders come into our country. We have so many people that have bad intentions that are from other countries, and we're losing our country right now, you guys. Make no mistake, we are losing our fucking country piece by piece. Piece by piece, we're losing our country, and it's happening from within. You have these people that are elected officials that are inciting violence towards our federal law enforcement and towards other elected politicians who are trying to make it seem like, even though we had a fair and free election, that there's some sort of regime that's taken over. No, bitch, you just lost the election. You lost the election because you put some fucking mumbling, drunken wine mom up there who couldn't string sentences together, and you guys have been running on identity politics and making kids trans for years now. And they want to make it sound like we're losing democracy. Every one of those people needs to be stripped. Terry said, JD, trust me, they will not do anything to her. Believe it. To Ilhan? I unfortunately, dog, I believe you. Unfortunately, I believe you. Death Silence. Wait, today was a walkout day? No wonder I couldn't get a lot of shit done today. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I didn't notice. I didn't notice over here, and I live in a real blue state. But, yeah, I also don't go to Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? Greg, what's up, man? It's good to see you again. I hope it'll soon be fuck around, find out time for these agitators, especially Donna Lemon, who stormed that St. Paul church. They should all go to jail. Well, they said that Kristi Noem said there would be arrests within hours about 6 hours ago. So, I assume that within 24 hours you've reached days. And so we should know within 18 hours whether Kristi Noem is as full of shit as Pam Bondi is. RM Sloan, here's one more $2. Have a good night, JD. God bless. God bless you, bro. Thank you so much. Thank you for just being here and hanging out with us, man. All of you guys. I'm having so much fun chilling with you guys. I like just doing lives and chopping it up. I want you guys to hear a take from one of my friends. This is Sheriff Grady Judd. I want you to hear what he has to say about this church thing, because I promise you this would not have happened in Florida. That church shit would not have happened in Florida where I went to church, and it wouldn't happen anywhere in Polk County. Listen to this.
Hello everyone, Sheriff Grady Judd here. I'm standing in a house of worship, and I think about last weekend in St. Paul, Minnesota, where people who came to worship were attacked. They were attacked by rioters. The service was disrupted. They cut at the very fabric of this great United States of America. We settled this country so many years ago so we could worship free the way we wanted to in whatever house of worship we chose. That attack is unacceptable. I can assure you that had that attack been in this community, every one of those rioters would be in jail today. That's where the federal government could have found them, on state charges, locked up.
Yep.
And I pray it's that same way all across the United States of America. Enough is enough. Let's join together for the good of the United States of America. Let's worship the way we want to, and let's everyone renounce the horribleness of last Sunday in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Amen, brother. Amen. I'm all the way with Sheriff Grady Judd on that. And Kathy Evans had a great point here, because we talk a lot about the downfalls of the Democrats. But part of the reason that we're in this situation right now is Ronald Reagan defunded the asylums, but he defunded the asylums because there was some real significant shit going on in those asylums. But, nowadays with the technology that we have, and I really like what Texas T said, make every employee that's there wear a body cam. and have cameras in the hallways. You know, if we have transparency, there's not going to be people getting raped in the asylums. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're at the point where, you know, another great point that somebody made. Do all your testing, instead of on animals, do your fucking testing on pedophiles. But we need asylums. Us losing asylums was an L, bro. It was an L for our country. It really was, man. And Stan, yeah, now if we could stop bowing to AIPAC. Absolutely. I want you guys to know, before I did that interview today with Sheriff Chad Bianco, Riverside Sheriff's Office, California, who's running for governor in California, I made sure to do research and make sure he's not paid by AIPAC. And he's not. He has zero fucking funding from AIPAC. So I really fucking like the dude, man. And I think he's on point. I really want him in there for governor. I really do. Metal Fender guy. What did I miss? Much love. Well, brother, we just been going over the fact that Trump has signed an executive order to reopen the asylums. Would it be a HIPAA violation to have body cams? You know, that's a good point. It wouldn't be a HIPAA violation as long as they didn't release the body cams outside of people that work in the institutions. I've had to, so, you know, I had to abide by HIPAA working at certain types of treatment centers because I wasn't always owning my own company recovery coach. I worked in treatment centers where I ran classes and did stuff like that, and I had to abide by HIPAA. You could record in there as long as it didn't ever get out. If it got out, that's a HIPAA violation for sure. For sure. It's not something where you would be able to like FOIA act it like you can with like police body cam and shit like that. Paul said the left doesn't hate the police. They want to be them and force you to comply at cost of your freedom and your soul. That's pretty on point, dog. That's pretty fucking on point. I can't argue that. So let's do a poll real quick and check the temperature over here. Hey, what are you doing, computer? That's what I said. Hold on, I just had a blank screen for a minute. Let's do a poll real quick. Should we reopen the asylums? I want to know what y'all think. Are you pro-asylum or are you anti-asylum? Let me know. I want to see what you guys think about all this. Judd for president. You know, I asked Judd if he would want to run for something like governor, or if he would want to run for some type of office, if he would want to run for, you know, anything higher than sheriff. And he said, I'm a lawman. I'm here to enforce the laws, and I love Polk County, and they love me, and that's where I want to stay. Yes, insane asylums, Derek, insane asylums, for sure. Psychiatric hospitals, yeah, same thing. I mean, the way that Trump worded it was he's reopening the asylums. So we do have asylums. It's the DOC. It shouldn't be the DOC. But it's crazy how right you are. It's crazy how right you are when you say that we do have asylums and it's the Department of Corrections. It's prisons. It's where these people end up. And I don't think that that's humane. Because people get fucked up in prisons that don't know how to, conduct themselves there. You know? So we got 96% say we should reopen the asylums. 4% say no. And, you know, I'd love to hear the argument against doing it. But, you know, I personally think that we need to reopen the asylums, you guys. I really do. I really think that that is necessary. I think that it's the most humane thing to do because they're right. People end up on the streets suffering continually, in and out of prison, in and out of jails. And it's crazy to do that to people and allow people to have that type of vicious cycle. Six's mom. I took that photo from my porch one morning. Farm life is awesome. Aloha from Kauai. You'll see. That is your front porch view. Oh my God, that is gorgeous. I'm so happy for you. That looks like such a peaceful place. Kathy Evans, big love to you, sis. Desert Rose, I love you. What's the difference between an asylum, a psych ward? I'd hate to see true psychiatric patients being forced to stay longer than medically necessary. So I think that a psych ward is a ward in a regular hospital, and an asylum is like dedicated. Like, so asylum might not be the current politically correct term. You know, like Oregon State Hospital was called a hospital, but it was really an asylum. As far as people being held longer than they need to be medically necessary, that's where I think the transparency and accountability comes into play. And we needed that. We absolutely needed that back in the day when we had, across the country, we had asylums. And that's, I believe, the main reason why they were shut down. So, Bulkupine, Sheriff Grady Judd for FBI director. He can run it for Polk County. He would be amazing at that. He'd be so much better at that than a 5'2" cokehead with some Israeli asset girlfriend, bro. He would be so good at that. Metal Fender guy. We have Peninsula in Knoxville. In-law stayed there. Yeah, so, I mean, we have one in the entire state of Oregon, but considering like probably 10% of our entire population needs to be in one, we need more. And that's, I believe, what Trump has just signed an executive order to fund, is reopening the asylums, which, if you remember, was he ran on that. So, second year in, he's actually doing it. Zach the Sticks. ACA killed off what was left of mental health. Bro, the mental health situation in this country is an absolute epidemic, bro. It's an absolute epidemic. So hopefully they'll do asylums correctly. They'll do them with transparency and dignity and humanity. Hopefully they won't just, have this be a situation where people are subject to abuse. That'll be a situation where people are treated compassionately, and, there will be actual oversight and accountability, because I think that would really help. And we can help people get back on their feet. We could see a whole bunch of people that are out on the streets suffering get helped back into being a normal part of society again, to where they can live happy and functional lives with sustainability, would be my main hope. That would be my goal. I think there's always going to be people that aren't going to be able to function in society without, in any form. And there's going to be some people who are going to be able to function in society after we stabilize them, and then we give them services and oversight to help them function and stay a part of society. But, a lot of these people end up in places like prison, and it's just not right. And we can't leave them living on our streets because it's dangerous. Mike Philly, hey JD, you kind of sound like John from Red Dead 2. I get that a lot, bro. John Marsden. I get that a lot, brother. Hell yeah. Lester said, up here in Maine, we got a surprise ice storm. Libs are losing it. Hopefully you come across some videos on stream. So many people pro-ice called and bogged down their tip line so ice could work. So many pro-ice people called and bogged down the tip. Oh yeah, the tip line, where so there are people across the country who've set up tip lines for their local areas where you can report if you see ice activity. And a lot of people have been calling in fake tips, telling them ice is out at the fucking landfill, wrapping up illegals, and making these people that are out there to try to obstruct ice go to landfills. And, go to random places in town. You know what I'm saying? ICE is behind the abortion clinic. Head there right away. That type of shit. And I think that's hilarious. I think that's great. Death Silence. The only bad news about reopening the asylums is that trans TIFO would take up 80 to 90% of the beds when they deserve to be in DOC. Well, that's the thing is the ones that we can actually build cases on, which it shouldn't be hard considering they've been designated as domestic terrorists, they should spend incredibly lengthy federal prison sentences for being involved with a federal, a domestic terrorist organization. But there would be a lot of them that, do just need services. And I honestly, I believe that some of these people do just need services, man. It just is what it is. It is what it is. Deb Longo, what's up, sis? How you doing? Trump's plane turning around due to electrical issues. He had just departed, was en route to Switzerland for the World Economic Forum in Davos. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's like the one plane out of the entire United States that has to be the most technologically savvy and probably gets the most servicing, and they had to turn that around. That's scary. That's scary. Kathy Evans, thank you so much. And I want to just, on a quick side note, if something happened to Trump, they're constantly talking about how they need to impeach Trump. Where does that leave them? Do they not think through the next step? If you get rid of Trump, you then have J.D. Vance. And do you think that these people would be any happier with J.D. Vance? You're not going to be able to get rid of both of them. So if you get rid of Trump, you're going to have J.D. Vance in there. And they're going to be equally as unhappy with J.D. Vance, I promise. J.D. Vance could probably get more shit done, to be perfectly frank with you. I don't trust his ties with Peter Thiel and Palantir, but I think that he's more capable of getting the job done in a more concise way. They're not going to be happy with that either. What do they want to impeach Trump, assassinate J.D. Vance, and they think they're going to get another election? That's not how this thing works, dog. So I don't really know why they're constantly talking about impeaching Trump. They don't think through the steps of what they're trying to do, man. I think Vance would have dropped the Insurrection Act a while ago. I think Vance would get shit done. I got Vance as the dude who will actually make shit happen. And he'll probably be elected in 2028. And if we're just honest about it, we're either going to end up with Vance or we're going to end up with Newsom. And I can't wrap my mind around how bad it's going to be for our country if we get Newsom. So, I don't foresee, unless things really violently change within the next 3 years, I think that's what it comes down to. I really do. Is Vance or Newsom. And if Newsom gets into power, look at what he's done to California, dog. Look at what he's done to California. It's crazy. JD, Trump needs to do things for the country and not the wealthy. I don't think that's his plan, bro. That's what he said he was going to do, but I don't see him doing a lot of America First shit. I really don't. 50-year mortgages? Wad that in the ball and pound it in your ass, guy. Nobody wants to pass their kids on generational debt. I just haven't seen him do a lot that I think is yo, this is really, really helpful to the American people. But the world is absolutely fucked if Newsom gets in. Our country will be worse than California is right now. So, one really great thing we could do is investigate the fraud in California, find the ties to Newsom, because you know that they're there. We know that he just bought a $9 million mansion. We know that he's living outside of his means off of what wealth he's accumulated legally. Get him, bust him for fraud, and get him out of that race. Because that's their dude. That's their dude. So, well, you guys, I love you. I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. It's been 2 hours. I'm going to jump off here, and I'm going to be back at you real soon. Until the next one, it's always one love, baby. Be good or be good at it.